and how whites in the South in particular consider themselves superior to the blacks. We've got to do it, but when I say do it, we've got to desegregate, but we're going to stay in power.
Well, let's put it this way. The white system did not want to accept black students, and that was made obvious. Some of them were so bent on having a segregated system and stuff, I don't know whether they want to integrate or not.
About a month before it was due for school to start, we learned that the school system was going to be integrated.
We had been told our junior year at Pinevale High that would be our last year there.
We were forced to close the doors because we were one of those states or cities that just refused to integrate.
Some of us didn't want to be there, and some of the white kids didn't want us there, along with the teachers, but we had no other choice.
They had to integrate whether they wanted to or not.
It was like you were forcing to do something that you really weren't prepared to do. And that's what happened to when they integrated the school system. And it was like a slap in your face, but you got to do this.
I think Pinevale held out for a very long time.
Pursuant to a federal court order, we would join forces with the students at Valdosta High School.
Well, it was a shocker for us because that oncoming year we looked forward to having a great football team.
They had Coach Bazemore, I know Coach Bazemore, Coach Wilson, Coach Green, all of them. And they knew that they was going to get a great program coming from this program. That time, at that particular time in 69 and 70 class. So,
there's no transportation, no buses. We walked from where I live on the south side of town, known as Little Miami, all the way to the old Valdosta High School where the football stadium was. And that's about 5+ miles.
Some of our teachers told me we probably see a lot of things we didn't know. One teacher told me, don't worry about it. You just keep going. There are going to be a lot of different things. So always try to read things.
Even during that time, you had more of a high dropout that 1 year that they integrated the system when kids dropped out of school. Just not here in Valdosta, I'm talking about all over.
The point is, we just knew we had to go to school. Back then, you did find a lot of them who dropped out.
When we integrated into Valdosta High School, as far as educational level, we used what we had at Pinevale, but we was below the standards of Valdosta High School.
One teacher also told me, I remember when she said, you got these old books that they had, that's fine. You take these old books that they had, you learn everything in it.
It was just the newer material that they was teaching that we had heard for the first time. That was the major problem there. Yeah, so that we had to put in extra time studying just to maintain.
There were things that had transpired at Valdosta High prior to our arrival that we had problems with. We found offensive, such as playing the song Dixie, the display of the Confederate flag. Those things remain.
I can remember walking by the band, a bunch of black folk walking by the band. They start off playing Dixie. And I could see some of the band members looking down because I looked up at them, they looking right at me. And that caused a lot of tension in the school.
We had to play the greatest band in Dixie. That was their theme song back then, and we had to play that. And they told us if we didn't play it or sit out or whatever, you just couldn't be in the band. It didn't conform enough to us to work with us. And we felt like we didn't want to play it because of the way it made us feel and what it meant to us.
So we say, look, this has to stop. And they refused to do so until we threatened to protest by walking out. So after a couple of meetings with the principal, Mr. Green, and the superintendent, a committee was formed, a biracial committee, and there was a compromise reached. So when the homecoming season rolled around, we ran a very popular Black female.
Miss Gloria Holloway, she was in the class of 1970. She was beautiful. She was intelligent. Valdosta High School had never had a Black person, female, to represent Valdosta High School.
And the white kids had 4 or 5 popular white females vying for the position. And the Black female won. And the white students protested, alleging or claiming that the Black student that we had voted more than once, we had voted multiple times, and Mr. Green, the principal, declared the first balloting null and void, and ordered that there be a revote, and the white female won.
And they wanted to talk about it, and about the second or third meeting, we decided to walk out.
We decided that Friday morning we would walk out in protest the plan of the sun, Dixie, the Confederate flag, the things that they continued to do before we desegregated.
We just got up and walked to the end of the street down there. I think that's Ann Street and William Street.
It was kind of funny because we walked out of school and we were on our way back to take our school back, Pinevale High School. In our minds, that's what we was going to do. I know we probably got arrested.
The police came. They had the paddy wagons. And the chief himself, I believe he was the chief of police himself came and encouraged and tried to persuade us to leave and go home. And we refused to do so for quite a while. I don't know, maybe it was an hour or so. But eventually we left. And we were suspended 3 days, I believe.
Those who walked out couldn't come back and go in the band as well.
We walked off the football team as well. We weren't going to play football or anything. And we met with Coach Bazemore. He sent word that he wanted to meet with us. But he talked with us and got us back to play football.
All we had missed, that's one thing when they said it set us back. We missed days out of school. They were not going to give us makeup stuff.
I was removed from the student council. The other Black members who were student council members, they were removed as well.
It was not easy going back to Valdosta High School.
I received threats, phone calls. They threatened to burn our home. We would have rallies during the time we were out of school at the various Black churches and funeral homes. And there were 3 men who would take me from home to the rally back home with guns.
And really and truly, the Black kids coming from Pinevale, they lost everything. They lost everything. And you're going to force us to go to a school that we don't want to go to, and then we're going to be treated bad when we get there?
Gave up a whole lot. We had to give up our school. That was the main thing. We had to give up our schools.
But we weathered the storm, and we graduated, and but I understand that there were still obviously problems that persisted after we left.
We lost a lot. They gained a lot more than we did. We actually didn't gain anything.
We lost our identity. We lost a lot of our, I would say, our hope, our spunk. I was an A student.
If we look at it objectively, it really and truly has been an eye-opener for whites, more so than blacks.
Only thing that we gained was to experience their school system. It left us a safe haven to go into hell. That's the best way I can put it.
For his integration, if I had to name some white friends, I probably couldn't get past 5 on my hand. Basically,
Those terrible things they had heard about blacks were not true. So I think it benefited whites more so than blacks in terms of the younger ones.
it's sad to say we have our black reunion and valdosta have their white reunion. Some of the kids, black kids, go to valdosta reunion. I plan on going the next time, the reunion, but we have ours and they have theirs. And so that's been over 50 years ago, and it's just the way it ended up.
And even here in Valdosta, we were just a microcosm of all of the cities in this country. But we were in the Deep South. Being in the Deep South, Confederacy, this is a stronghold. It's a stronghold for Confederacy, and it's a stronghold for Republicans. To this day it is.